Hey everyone, it's Leigh Goldstein, the Trading Director at 10-Minute Trades. And this is our Trade of the Week. And this is a fascinating Trade of the Week. And it's going to be a long video. So I want you to really relax and get a comfortable seat, maybe grab a cup of coffee. And I want to show you the psychology of trading and how important it is. There are so many lessons in this Trade of the Week that I'm actually going to let you decide which part of the trade is the trade of the week. Is it really a trade of the week? Was it a mistake? Was it a screw up? Was it a perfectly handled trade? This is a different, complicated, tricky trade to discuss, but it's clearly the trade of the week. So let's get started. I'm Leigh Goldstein, the Trading Director at 10-Minute Trades, and I think ultimately I'd like to jump off a roof, but let me show you why. So this week's Trade of the Week is the University of Michigan Consumer Confidence, and it also has an inflationary aspect to the trade. We've been trading this report for years, and there's nothing especially unique about it. We have had a variety of different setups: gold, the ES, sometimes the NQ even. And that's me, I'm the Trading Director. And don't forget, trading does have risk, so you can lose money trading futures. So please, trade carefully, okay? There's our, just let me get my proper screen on. There we go. Don't lose money, trade carefully, okay? Everybody knows there's risk in trade. So it's March 17th, and I have a trap trade set up for the ES. And I've got a big stop, okay? If I get stopped out of this trade, I stand to lose over $700 on the trade. That's not a small chunk of change for the average trader. It's a lot of money, and I take the trade very seriously. The idea behind a trap trade, the perfect trap trade, we put 2 orders above the current price. We put 2 orders below the current price, and the current price is marked by this orange arrow. So I'm trading the ES. When the price goes up, we sell the market short. When the price shoots down, we buy the market long. And the concept is we're expecting a change in the direction from our original entry. So we expect the price to burst up or down, put us in the market in the opposite direction, and then we make our profit when the trade changes direction. And all of this usually happens within a couple of minutes, sometimes in less than a minute. Now, there were some warning signs that this might be a difficult trade right at the outset. Trading the ES, as I said, with decent sized to large brackets, and the news comes out, it's rather negative. Interestingly enough, the ES goes up. It had been pushing down quite heavily before the trade. I wanted to be filled to the long side on this trade because I felt in my heart that the ES is very negative today because of all the banking news. And I was happy to see that I did get filled to the long side. But I was not happy to see that this was not a perfect trap trade. It didn't burst. And it didn't fill both my orders, right? I only got filled initially on 1 order, but I left my second order on the chart because I felt very strongly, based on the price action, that it was going to continue up. And I was also thinking, looking at the news results being negative, meaning the news was worse than expected, the market was seeing that as a positive because it might have meant less inflation based on what the news was. That was my thinking. And I also was thinking, try to hang on in this trade because ultimately the ES is going to go down. And I got filled on the long side, and it just kept pushing up. The enemy of a trap trade is pricing that just keeps pushing up, or that bursts up so fast it blows through your stop. And what we were seeing in this trap trade is that it wasn't reversing. It filled 1 tier to start, then it filled the second order. It just pulls back a little bit here into profit, but not very much. I think our maximum profit might have been about $125, nowhere near enough to try and jump out of the trade. So I was patiently waiting. We were now 2 minutes into the trade. And right there, it gave me a little bit of profit. And I was thinking, let me jump out of this trade. I don't like the price action. It's not reversing very heavily. I thought maybe it was starting to reverse, but I didn't have a lot of confidence. You could see that my orders, my targets, had been pushed close to the price at that time. Okay, we're now 2.5 minutes into the trade. The price it's looking like it wants to reverse, and then watch what happens. It gives us right there our best profit, 190 bucks. I didn't take it, and then the price starts to push up again. And now it starts to push relentlessly. It starts to look like my stop is going to be in big trouble. And like I said, it was a big stop, over $700. Last trade of the week. You don't like to end the week on a big loser, especially in front of all of our members, especially with our challenge ending. And we want people to come and join us and sign up. All these psychological aspects, besides just regular trading, that I have to deal with. And it's perfectly okay. That's part of my job. I'm not complaining. It's all what I have to deal with. These are all thoughts that are going through my mind. It affects your trade. The psychology of trading is all of the baggage that you bring with you. That's all my baggage. Fear of the stop, fear of embarrassing myself, fear of challengers not wanting to join up with us if we have a bad trade. That's my baggage, okay? But on the other side, I had my analysis that I felt the ES was really going to drop because I just thought the markets were negative, and now it's pushing and pushing against me, and it's getting closer and closer to my stop, and I'm getting concerned. I'm thinking that I need to really just try to get out of this trade with a profit, but I'd be quite pleased if I could get out just with a small profit. Now, I had lost $45 on our first trade of the morning. Really, it was just a test of a capacity utilization trade that didn't work, and we were trading micros. It was no big deal. A test that didn't work, so I was down 45 bucks. And now this trade is in over 4 minutes. It's still not working. That's a pretty long time for a trap trade. I'm getting more and more concerned that I'm going to get stopped out. I'm not happy. But I'm hanging in. I haven't really done anything. I left my stop alone. It's still an expensive stop, like I said, over 700 bucks roughly. And the price is just, it's not, every now and then it looks like it's starting to do a little bit of a reversal. So now I'm 5 minutes in the trade. That's a long time to be in a trap trade. And watch what happens. The price goes down, and I thought, okay, it's starting to reverse. I'm getting ready to make my money, and it starts to push up again. It's just fighting that reversal. It's fighting it. We're now 6 minutes in the trade, and I'm watching gold also. If gold is red, I'm extremely concerned that the ES is going to be the opposite, and it is. Gold was red. Price starts pushing up again. So I'm still in this trade. I'm still in the room with all the baggage that I've got. The worries about the stop. I finally shrunk my stop a little bit, just below the opening price of the ES. And that was my line in the sand for the stop. It was still at least a $600 stop. And now I'm over 6 minutes in the trade. That's an eternity where it's not really working in my favor. And then finally, we start to get a little movement. But what's happened is my psychology has been damaged. I want to get out of this trade with a profit, and I don't want a big profit. I just want to get out of the trade because I'm thinking it's been pushing up. Every time it does a small reversal, I'm going to get out. And that's what I did, and I got out with a $75 profit total. And frankly, I was not unhappy about that. I was glad that we turned a potential $700 loser if it hit my stop into a small profit to end the week with a lesson. Hey, when you trade a trap trade that doesn't really reverse all that well, then you get out of the trade for a small profit and you happily go on to the next trade. But let's take this another step further. And this is why this really is the trade of the week. Because in my heart, the analysis I had done, watching the price action from before the trade, the ES was selling off hard. The banking crisis is in full bloom. I felt for sure that the ES was going to drop, but I let my concern about the trap trade not behaving the way it should, and all the baggage I've talked about, it overpowered my thinking, so I took that short profit. So now, what I want to show you is the trade had I just kept trading it the way I should have. Or I'll really let you decide that. Is it the way I should have? Did I do the right thing by taking my profit after 7 minutes? Could you have stayed in the trade for 7 minutes when it really hadn't been working for every bit of those 7 minutes? So finally, when it does give you your small profit, you know how you readily take that profit and smile? What would you have done? Could you have stayed in longer, knowing that maybe your $800 profit would have been hit? That's the difficulty, the psychology that I was dealing with on this trade. And what I want to show you is what really could have been done and why this really was the trade of the week. Had I gone with my gut, which I knew was going to be a sell-off, I made my stop big enough on the trap to survive the move to the upside. So I did a download of the replay data so I could show you this trade over again using the replay feature in NinjaTrader as if we're trading the event again, but I'm not going to exit the trade. And I want to show you why that roof is looking like a jumping point for me today. So hold on. Let me get that video synced up. So keep in mind now we're watching the exact same trade setup, except I'm replaying it on NinjaTrader using their playback function. But it's the exact same trade. You can see it does everything exactly as if I were trading it live. But it's going to allow me to show you what really would have happened had I gone with my gut and with my analysis. I knew what was going to happen. And this trade is sped up a lot because I don't want to spend another 8 minutes. So it's going to go much faster. So you saw how it goes up. It challenges my stop. Okay, it gets higher and higher. But ultimately, what's going to happen is the price is going to reverse. It struggles to reverse, but ultimately it does reverse. And had I traded with my gut, the price just starts to drop, and it continues to drop, and it continues to drop, and the price goes down, and it hits my first target for an easy $450. And then I move my stop to safety to protect the profit. And now all you have to do is watch as the price continues dropping. And you know, with a trap trade, if it bursts up like it did, we sold the market short. So we'd be in this market short. The price is dropping, and the price is dropping, continues to fall. And then for the sake of this video, I'm going to take my profit in a couple of seconds. And bingo, let me show you that profit screen. $1,825. This is the trade of the week, folks. Now, is it the trade of the week because I made a mistake and got out too soon? Is it the trade of the week because I did the right thing, and after 7 minutes of a trap trade not working, the only logical thing to do was to take your profit and move on to the next event? Or why didn't I stay with my gut and my analysis and let the profit explode into an $1,800 profit? It was not, well, I'm not going to say it was not that hard. It was hard, because a 7-minute trade, which normally would be a 2-minute trade for that type of behavior, that's what made it difficult. Plus all of the baggage that I explained I was carrying during that trade. The worry about our challenger members seeing a bad trade as the last event of the week. The worry about a big stop and just losing too much money. The worry about being embarrassed. All of this baggage is honest, what a trade room moderator carries. We're all human. Everybody has these feelings. The idea is you got to avoid, push them aside, and go with your analysis. My analysis had the ES selling off. It did, but I'm not going to say that it was a total fear-based failure, because it was a 7-minute trade. I'd rather let you decide. Make a comment on this video and let me know what you think you would have done. Could you have stayed in the trade 7, 8, 9 minutes to make all that profit? Or would you have been too worried that it hadn't worked after 5 minutes and tried to grab just a decent profit to get out? Either way, this is the trade of the week for the lesson, for the learning about the psychology, for the possible profit, and just for the beauty of the setups that we have that work. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. My name is Leigh Goldstein, the Trading Director at 10-Minute Trades. I want to say hello, and this is what it looks like when you get ready to jump, because ultimately I feel like I could have had an $1,800 profit, and it wouldn't have been that hard, and it would have been awesome today. A great way to end the week. And I just want to know what you think. What would you have done? Would you have done the same? Or would you have gotten out of that trade with an $1,800 profit? Tell the truth. We want nothing but the truth. I can handle the truth. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you in the trade room next week. FOMC statement. It's going to be a great week. Have a good weekend, everybody. Leigh Goldstein signing out for 10-Minute Trades. I love this stuff, and I hope you do too.